D-Lab, everybody. I've got a cool project here for you, but first I want to explain why I haven't been putting out as many videos as usual. Over the last 6 months, I've developed some of those old man problems. Number one, I've got some pretty severe arthritis in my knees, so it's slowing me down. And it's also painful, so it's bringing me down, okay? So it has definitely influenced my time in the shop, and I have other things going on that I need to get resolved. So I'm trying to at least put out a video a week, okay? Anyway, on to the video. The subject is, have you ever wanted to build yourself a low power home stereo amplifier, but you didn't really have anything to model it after? Well, I came across this situation. I thought, you know what? Why don't I take the Dynaco ST-70 layout, and instead of running EL34s, let's make a low power amp running 6005 tubes. And that's what I've got right here to show you. So I'm going to give you an overview. I'll let you hear it, and then I'll let you know of some updates that I plan for this amp. Alright, here's the amplifier. Tip it up, you take a look at that. It pretty much looks just like the Dynaco ST-70 layout. The chassis itself is a little bit smaller though. This is a 12 by 8 by 2 chassis. My input jacks up front. These are 6 GH8A tubes, not those expensive $71.99s. And we got a pair of 6005s on each side, 5 AR4 rectifier. My filter cap. Power transformer is a Hammond 369HX, and I'm running a pair of Hammond 125Hs for the outputs. Spinning around the back, there's my speaker outs for 4 and 8 ohm, power switch, fuse, and line cord. Pretty basic. Alright, let's take a look underneath. Alright, bottom side tour. Just like the Dynaco ST-70, you have a driver board. This board, though, is not made by Dynaco. There is a guy on eBay that makes these boards. The name of the company is Vintage Electron, and these are updated boards to run the 6GH8A tube, which is a very inexpensive tube. Other than that, the artwork on this board is identical, and all the wiring hooks up just like you would see in the manual for the ST-70, which makes construction really nice. So here is my power supply section. This is the main filter cap, and these two caps are also the same as shown on the Dynacos schematic. My negative bias is back here, which feeds my two 10K negative bias adjustment pots. The Hammond 125Hs did not have screen taps like the original transformers of the ST-70. So I had to come up here with a little screen resistor and cap to make the 6005 tubes happy. So I have made changes to the schematic to make it operate with these output tubes. The 6005s will put out approximately 8 watts, whereas the EL34s on the ST-70 put out about 35 watts a channel. I have all this information in detail on my Patreon account. Alright, let's take a listen to it. Here we go, demo time. I'm running a JVC CD player into a Hafler DH101 preamp. The CD that I'm using is one of those no copyright specials. So you've probably heard it before, but I really don't have a choice because I don't want to get popped for copyright. Okay? So here we go. I've got the track queued up. You take a listen to the ST-7 by D-Lab. Alright, so as you can see, she's crystal clear. There's no hum. It's a great little design. So that's kind of the beauty of that Dynaco layout, and that driver board is you could pretty much run any output tubes you want with this amplifier. You just need to change your power transformer and output transformers to meet up with your wattage specification. Now, after listening to this amplifier, I noticed that the response was a little bit on the thin side, and I know why. So let me show you that. So when I was designing this amp, I kind of wanted to play on the model number of the Dynacos. Since that was the ST-70, I wanted to have the ST-7, meaning 7 watts per channel. And that's why I chose the Hammond 125H output transformers. I've used them on several guitar amps with great success. They sound excellent, but the frequency response of the Hammond 125H is 150 Hertz to 15 kilohertz. So that's kind of restricting the audio bandwidth that you would want for a home stereo. So the next step is I'm going to replace the output transformers with a Hammond 1608. This is rated from 30 Hertz to 30 kilohertz. Much wider, a little beefier transformer, although it's only rated at 10 watts. As I stated before, all this information will be presented in detail on my Patreon account. You guys can tune into that and see what I'm up to and watch the evolution of the ST-7 amp.